work to support Palestine, our brothers and sisters back home, our students in the classrooms that are not feeling seen. We've been dealing with doxing, death threats, a bunch of crazies that will just follow you in the street, right? But look at us today.
Education! Not for war and occupation! Not for war and occupation! NEA, can't you hear? NEA, can't you hear? We don't want no Zionists here! We don't want no Zionists here!
The National Education Association, NEA, the largest and longest standing labor union in our country, cannot even bargain in good faith with their own staff. Yesterday during the rep assembly, Becky intentionally pushed back our Palestine NBIs, something that has never been done before and is a clear case of discrimination. If our unions can't even treat their own workers fairly, how can we trust NEA to fight for their members? Educators for Palestine stands in solidarity with NESO staff union. NEA, settle today with your staff and stop silencing our voices.
My name is Fadi Saba. I'm a teacher. I'm a public school teacher, proud of that. I'm a leader in California Teachers Association by being a leader of my local. So we have chapters. I'm a leader in my chapter, which means I am involved heavily within the local aspect of California Teachers Association. CTA, California Teachers Association, is a part of NEA, the National Educators Association, headed by Becky Pringle. And a bunch of people under the name Educators for Palestine, public school teachers, NEA members, like I, have been involved and working together for many months now in putting up what we call NBI. NBI stands for New Business Items. And these, if passed, become kind of like a rule of sorts within NEA. That means, so for example, one of them is to educate educators about the Nakba, about the dispossession of Palestinians, expulsion of Palestinians. Should that pass, for example, it would be something that NEA would have to do through their magazine or electronically, so teachers can learn about the Nakba. That's an example of that. And that is actually one of the NBIs, the new business items. And it was a really amazing come together of hundreds of people, several hundred people, 300, I believe, is in this group nationwide. And these are the ones that know about us, right? There are many other teachers who may not know. And many teachers, of course, are very sympathetic, but they're just not involved and don't feel that they can or should be involved or what have you. And of course, beyond all of that, there's fear of being attacked again. Just like Berkeley teachers have been attacked. Mr. Norberg at the Berkeley School District, for example, is one who's been attacked, but many other teachers in Los Gatos and throughout the Bay Area, California, and the United States, where educators who believe in liberated ethnic studies are being forced to defend themselves for teaching liberated ethnic studies here in California and throughout the country. And so at this convention, the RA convention, which is Representative Assembly, there are different members who are elected to represent the different regions within California and the rest of the country. It's about 6,000 to 7,000 members. They met in Philadelphia, and it was quite amazing of an event. I was not in attendance, but I was following it on Signal. And I'll be honest with you, it was one of the most exciting things to happen. Now, NEA and their own union, their own workers' union, about 350 people, have been bargaining since they began bargaining April 11th. And this convention was July 4th, July 3rd, July 4th timeframe. Between April 11th and July 4th, there's been no movement, nothing substantive. NEA has been basically saying no to the NEA staff organization, NISO, NEASO. And as a result, NEASO had already given the okay, the membership already gave the okay to strike if needed. And of course, what better time is to strike than at the convention where they're needed in front of all these public school teachers. And so they went on strike. Educators for Palestine refused to cross the line, the picket line. Many other teachers who are not involved also refused. And it was just an amazing thing. But let me tell you how horrible NEA management is. They are just as bad as corporate America. They not only, after the strike was made, they obviously the convention had to be canceled. And the thought was, oh, we'll go online on Zoom. But obviously, being on Zoom is crossing the picket line nonetheless, electronically so, but still. So they had to cancel the convention, and they were extremely pissed, NEA management. So this is what they did, which is totally corporate America. One, so they went on strike Friday, and the convention was to go through Sunday, when Biden was going to speak to the convention holders, right? So on Friday was, sorry, there's a fly here. On Friday, began the convention, the Friday the 5th of July, began not the convention, the strike later that day, and they canceled everything, all right? As a result, not only did they cancel the convention, they canceled all of their own workers' hotel rooms. They canceled all of their workers, the union workers, 350 of them, their flights back to Washington, D.C., where NEA's headquarters, where they work. All right, those are really bad, but they made it back to Washington, D.C., they carpooled, they took the train, all that kind of stuff. Well, guess what they did, what NEA management did? They locked them out of NEA, out of their own headquarters, out of their own work. This is how horrible some of our union management is. They're doing exactly what corporate America would do, how we would be angry about at corporate America. And NEA is the largest union in America, in the United States. So that's to say what happened. Of course, none of the Palestine NBIs made it that far. They were in the top, so they would have been dealt with, in theory, on Wednesday, on Thursday, Wednesday, yeah, on Thursday, which is the 4th. But Becky Pringle pushed them back to the very end. There are theories about why she did that. Maybe she knew that there was going to be a strike, and this way, NEA would not have to deal with any Palestine thing. But I have no proof. This is just a thought that might be out there.
And as you said, teachers around the country are being targeted for talking about the NAPCA, talking about the genocide that's going on. Most unions, national unions, have not even said that it's a genocide.
No, none. I mean, very few said that it's a genocide. I will say that due to the pressure from Educators for Palestine, NEA and others, even though it's weak, did say that they want a ceasefire. Yes, they did get to that. Same with UE, SEIU, UAW, many unions. And they have this labor for ceasefire organization that they're part of, representing over 9 million workers, which is awesome. But at the same time, they're supporting a genocidal president, Genocide Joe, which is a problem for me, you know.
And the issue of
and that doesn't mean I support Trump, not at all. He would be just as bad, if not worse. They're both bad, you know. But there isn't. You can't talk about gradation of how bad someone is, right? It's not about gradation. It's not about the lesser of two evils. When you're talking about 40,000 people have been accounted for, killed, right? Tons of other thousands being starved to death right now.
Well, the leadership of these unions say that they're Zionists. They support a Zionist state, and they also support continued U.S. military aid to Israel. So if you say that you're against the genocide, then you would logically say stop the weapons that are doing this killing.
That's what you would hope, right? But it's like they want the cake and eat it too, kind of a thing. So situation is pretty bad. And so what that means, anyone out there who is a union activist, please, this is really important, right? Please make sure that the leadership on the local level and upwards is very strong, supporting the union, their rank and file, because in the end, we are the rank and file, we are the union. And without us, they can't be there. There would be a shell.
And what has the union done, the CTA and the NEA? Has there been a statewide campaign or national campaign to defend teachers who've been targeted by school districts, by Zionists, to get them out of the profession?
On the local, so we have chapters in each small area, like Santa Clara County, where I'm at. There is an RRC, which has its own staff, CTA staff, and they are the ones that do make sure that they support the teachers. If it gets to a point where there needs to be some legal support, they would take it to the statewide, to Burbank, where CTA is headquartered, and get a lawyer to support the teacher for doing what a teacher does, which is teach, and so in these situations, yes, they have been supportive. Staff, I feel, at least from the experiences that I've heard, there has been support.